Well, from our side, the most important highlights was the team that we sent to the Commonwealth Games, the performances that they recorded, and the double medals that we won, especially by Caster. She was not expected to combine the two events, but she did that and set the games records. And apart from that, we had been struggling with our relays, especially the men's relays, and yet we had so many sprinters. But going to the Commonwealth Games in Australia, our plans worked well, and we won a medal there, and we believe we are going to build on that in 2018, right up 2019, 2020 and beyond. And the other highlight for us was ASA to be invited in London to participate in the top 8 nations in the world. And we sent about 33 athletes, and all of them fared very well. Some of them won medals. And we did not know that such competition happening for the first time was going to be of such a huge benefit to our athletes. And I've seen before the end of the year how much money those athletes won. I think each and every athlete that participated got about 41,000 rand, and in excess of 1 million rand was distributed to our athletes. And I think when we started, we were certain that we must participate, but we did not know that there will be so much benefit for our athletes. And I think that was the greatest thing for us. And when we talk to our athletes now for other initiatives, I'm sure that they will be able to make sure that they join the team SA going there. And we also went through to the African Championships in Nigeria. You were there, and it was very interesting, let alone the challenges that were there, technical challenges, transportation challenges. But it was an experience for us, going out of South Africa, expecting things to be the way they are supposed to be in South Africa, or what we are used to. We got there and things did not work according to our way. And for us, we cannot simply look at the negative part of it. But for us, it was a major highlight to say that when we go to any country, we must prepare as if we are going to the bush, so that when things go wrong, we have plan 1, plan 2, and plan 3. And we realized that, and it was a good lesson for us. It may be seen as negative, but it was more on our side as the board and the staff that we need not to take things as we are told. We must go beyond where we are not so sure. We must be able to create our own environment that is going to be conducive on the other side. But finally, it went well. We lost our number 1 spot to Kenya with 1 gold medal. And we also lost about, if I counted well, we should have won 16 to 18 gold medals. And some of the athletes were disturbed and they were disrupted and they lost focus. And I'm saying it was a major focus for us, because in Durban we won 16 gold medals. In Nigeria we should have won 20 gold medals. We have got more athletes, better athletes, but because of just that minor occurrence, some of the athletes lost their concentration, the core business that they went there to do. And I think that is very important. It can happen in Qatar, it can happen anywhere, and we have to sit back and create multiple plans as to how do we avoid that, because it can happen. The heat can cause us to lose concentration. Events taking place at night, at midnight, athletes may be distracted. So we need to plan differently. Those are the highlights for us. Exactly. Competing in such an environment with so many disruptions, intended or not intended, athletes, South African athletes in particular, I know they are tough. They adapt quickly and easily, and some of those athletes, they come from worse environments than that environment. Hence, they manage to adapt. And I'm saying most of our athletes, senior athletes who were there, they remained focused despite everything that you saw there. They won and they doubled, they did this and that and that and that. I think it was a good lesson for them, and I hope they will take it forward and share it with those who will be coming for the first time, and say that if things are like this, stay focused. Don't look at the luxury of South Africa where there is no luxury. Stay focused. Run on the same track. You are prepared to run, not to be disrupted by side issues like accommodation, meals, transportation, sleeping at the airport, and all those things. Well, I did not even mention all the performances. You know them better. But all the performances, if you can look at them, from the youth section to the junior section to the senior section, track and field, cross country, road running, be it the 10 kilometer right up to ultra distance, 100 kilometers, we are in a very sound space. We are seeing the increase of the athletes in each and every field. In the men's division, it's unbelievable and it's scary to see how many sprinters do we have. 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters. In the women's section, especially the youth and junior section, the athletes are coming up, and I saw them taking so many medals at the African Games in Algeria, here in Boksburg, taking almost 80% of the gold medals, winning 13 medals in Algeria, going to the Commonwealth Games, and we don't know what happened. We're supposed to have come back with the most number of medals at those games, but I don't know, at the Youth Olympics, I don't know what really happened. But I think if I analyze it better, the problem was understanding that you must have an average. Some of the athletes, they ran round 1, round 2, and some they ran slower round 1 and round 2, and they ran faster in the finals. So they did not understand the rules. So I think it is upon our coaches and the management that we send there, that they must be able to understand the rules as to how are you going to win your event. You must run hard in the first round, second round, and third round, because you win by average time, not how fast you ran in your final. So they were using the IAAF procedures and the Olympic procedure, not the Youth Olympics. It was a huge support, and it changed the mindsets of people out there. If you look at the BMI, what went through during those Grand Prix series, you would not believe that it was in South Africa. And it did not only shock South Africans, but foreign athletes from Europe, from America, from Asia, and they kept on asking us, how do we do it? And let alone the African people, they said no. It was really South Africa, and if you can do this, it means that Africa is at a different level. So the corporate support that came in last year helped us a great deal in preparing our athletes to be ready to peak at the right time, especially for the Commonwealth Games, because it was earlier than normal. It was within our season, unlike in August and all that. And we still need that kind of support so that our athletes can be able to measure themselves against the best of the best at home, rather than for them to travel all over without their coaches at most cases, and they lose track and they get scared and they forget to do basic things which will cost them and all that. So it was a huge boost for our sport. Well, the basic economic principle is that the more you have, the more you want. And whatever we had last year, if people thought it was enough, we are saying it was not enough. We need more, because we need to create different platforms so that our youth can be able to compete, our juniors can be able to compete, and senior athletes can be able to compete, so that by the time they reach age 19, 20, they can become the world champions even in the senior category. You can be able to do that when you have the support of the corporate, support of government, and you organize competitions, you structure them so that your athletes can be able to pick up at the right time. Well, is to make sure that the 2019 season is different from the 2018 season, because we need not to repeat what we did in 2018. Remember, our focus in 2018 was the preparation for the Commonwealth Games. And this year, our focus is the preparation for the World Championships. And World Championships is not taking place at a normal time, July, August, but it is taking place at the end of September and right up to October. So we have to structure our calendar in such a way that our athletes do not peak in February, March, April, but you create events and opportunities so that they can be able to remain focused at home with their coaches whilst they go for few of the IAAF international or European season, but most of the time they must hear. So therefore, our track and field for this year, you can see that it is a bit delayed, and we want to have events after the championships so that our athletes can peak at the right time. Let's say in May, beginning of May, it will be a bit cold in South Africa, but some of the athletes can still do their sprints during the day between 11 and 3 o'clock. Thereafter, earlier than that is cold, and later than that is cold. So you have to do, you remember in 2015 what we did when we were having those competitions that were starting on Saturdays at 11 and move up to 2 for one or 2 hours and all that. This is what we are going to do this year, but ASA is still going to launch that to the public so that they can be able to buy in. But there has been a lot of consultation with the coaches and the athletes regarding this, rather than just keep on doing things because you want to do. You have to innovate, you have to adapt and adjust to the needs, but look at the international season at most.
If we
Yes, we are on track to achieve better results and more medals, and introducing many of our youth athletes, I believe there will be youth athletes who will qualify to go to the Olympic Games, and we also believe that some of our junior athletes will shock the world by being there at the start and even progress to the next round. Some of them may even progress to the finals in some of the events. We are on track, and we believe there is nothing that is going to disrupt us. But we don't want to count medals and say to people how many we are going to win. But we want to win more medals than those that we won in Rio. And we are looking at few athletes that have got capability of coming back with one or two medals. And we are also looking at putting up a formidable team for the relays in the men's and in the women's division. And we believe that with the return of Wade and Gift and other athletes, we stand a very good chance as South Africa also to be able to feature a 4x4 relay. It will all depend upon the program of the 400 meters, the 200 meters, and all that. The 4x1 is a given for men's, and we are working hard to make sure that our women qualify in order to participate in the 4x1 at the Olympics. If not in the 4x4, I think it is much easier. You have got the hurdlers, you have got the individual 400-meter athletes. We can be able to win medals, but our focus is to do better, and this country is capable of doing that, and our athletes and our coaches are not inferior to anyone. They are working very hard to make sure that South Africa fly that flag and achieve the better overall position compared to 2016. The same as this year. We hope in Doha, with adverse conditions, we will be able to adapt and adjust and be able to remain in the top 5 as we did in London. Well, this weekend in Pretoria University, we are having almost 100 athletes who will be coming in to the national trials. They've participated at the national cross country in September. Now we want to make sure that we don't rely upon their performances of 3 or 4 months ago. We gave them a very stern warning that go all out there and prepare yourself, because we don't want to send a team of just a team for the sake of a team. We want you to come back and prove to us that you are fit, and we want you, when you go to the IAAF World Champs in Denmark, you must be able to improve on what the previous team did in 2016. And we believe on Saturday the athletes will be all out to fight for the top 6 positions in each and every category. 2 junior teams, 1 for males, 1 for females, and 2 senior teams for male and female. And I think there will be also a decision made whether we'll be able to get 2 males and 2 females who are going to do a mixed relay. It's like a sprint. I call it a sprint relay because it's 2 kilometers by 4 athletes. And I saw the world and Olympic champions in Uganda coming from Kenya, the 1,500 meter specialists running there, and they won medals. And I think South Africa also stands the chance, but will be guided by the selectors and the commission as to whether that is possible. Well, as you know, that we started participating in the World Relays, and we did not do well because we did not have sufficient team and strategy and policy around that. But as I speak right now, ASA, before the end of the year, release the names of the athletes who are supposed to be in the squad. And ASA will be calling those athletes with the coaches and appointing the head coach who's going to work with those athletes. And the good thing is that the World Relays Championships in Japan, I think in Tokyo, will be in May after our championships. So it will be better. I know it's difficult to travel to the east, the time zones and all that. It takes athletes out of their preparations. And I believe that it will be used as one of the preparation for the IAAF World Championships. And our wish and our plan is that ASA qualify and be in the top 16 automatically by going there. It will help us to do that, other than to wait for other people after the World Championships. Better if you are there, because they will consider the top 16 and the top 16 times and all that. And we hope that this time we can be able to win a medal. But we will see when the athletes are doing their training and their availability as to whether we will certainly be able to get a medal in one or two of our relays. We're planning to send the 4, but we will see athletes get injured and all that. But we are planning to send the 4 teams so that we can be able to move forward. But we have also seen on Friday, if not on Saturday, that IAAF has withdrawn the 4x8 relay and replace it with the hurdles, the shuttle hurdles relay, and we'll be adding that and see whether there are athletes who will be able to do the shuttle relays, 2 men and 2 women. If there are, we'll also be able to make sure that we create an opportunity for the athletes who are good in that.